It's time, everyone. This is Acid Roots. We're going to talk about Eminem yet again with Relapse Refill. Now, this album, this was the last of Eminem as we knew him on the Slim Shady type material, and, well, recovery kind of took a new direction. And, Eminem is just, he's pretty stone cold sober lately. So now the character of Slim Shady, people will say they like him, but you got to think about the reasons why you actually do. Is it because he's a nut? Is it because he gets high all the time? Is it because you can't figure out what he's going to say next? I mean, there's just so many things as to why when he came out in 1999, people were dyeing their hair blonde and, wanting to do everything that he did. And so it set off trends for teenagers, men in their early 20s, and even in some cases, older heads in rap. People who grew up with NWA were suddenly saying Eminem is the shit. So obviously this trip to Slim Shady again with Relapse kind of is, it's necessary just so we know, just because Eminem matured, does that mean he lost his touch? And the answer is forget it. He really didn't. So, there are 22 songs with Relapse and Refill combined. So what you're getting, you do get some skits, and you'll have to listen to those to figure it out. But this album really is quite good. Now, I've seen complaints about this album. It's actually not one of his favorite. It's not one of the fans' favorites. I think you just got to get out of that mentality, because the thing about it is this album is pretty mental. And more, if you go through Eminem's albums and you figure out the ones where he's like the least cuckoo or screwed up in the head, that's kind of something that you have to pick up on. And, he goes at his mother, he goes at almost anyone, he goes at Kim Kardashian, he goes at Jessica Alba. He doesn't really go at her, but you just hear these things. And yeah, I mean, so there's just some stuff in this release that naturally kind of it makes Eminem a fun character. And unfortunately, when he calms down, it just not necessarily is always as, can't think of it, essential. So, but we'll talk about that more. We're going to talk about some of the songs you can smoke to. So I would recommend smoking to the song Hello, Same Song and Dance, Stay Wide Awake, Deja Vu, Crack a Bottle, Bagpipes from Baghdad, Must Be the Ganja. Some real good stuff to smoke to. Now the beats, I think this was Dr. Dre here, so, you do get that. Most of these instrumentals are top shelf, and since, we'll get right to it. There were only 2 songs on the original Relapse that I didn't like, and that was Beautiful and Underground. So other than that, the whole album it just tears at you. There's more, in your face songs. There's ones that just have kind of like that lazy drawl, and there's some ones that are about partying, cutting loose, having a good time. Like, for example, the song Hello is one of those ones that just sounds like it could have been a radio song. had it just, it just is so mellow. And there's just not a song like it on the album. Crack a Bottle's one that, has Dre and 50 on there. That one's got some. Must Be the Ganja's a good smoking song. There's lyrical songs on there. 3 a.m. is kind of back to that horrorcore stuff. Beautiful is kind of one of those numbers. You might like that song. It's not necessarily that it's bad. Eminem does a good job of singing, but it just is really kind of dramatic. So, yeah. I mean, there's just a lot to go through. If you like beats and good instrumentals and everything, you're going to find it, but more so is just the ability to recognize these songs. So I'm going to sum this up by saying there's going to be songs on this album for your moods, and once you get into if you're like Eminem, or at least how he was in 2007 and 2008, this album's going to be fun for you. If you're eating nachos and, pigging out, picking up women left and right, going out to clubs, maybe not he wasn't, but, just kind of relishing and being in your 20s and 30s, there's going to be plenty of songs on this album for you. Now, Refill, same thing. Buffalo Bill, Music Box are some smoking songs. Hell Breaks Loose is another one. But, out of the 7 songs that were on this release, there were actually a couple that I didn't like. And one of them was Elevator, and the other one was Drop the Bomb on them. Both of these just kind of felt like tacky. Didn't really have the punch that the other ones did. But Buffalo Bill is a really one that got nailed, and so is Music Box. So is Hell Breaks Loose. These are some good ones. Drake and Lil Wayne and Kanye are on Forever. It's got a mean hook. So, those 5 songs are the ones I recommend on Refill. So obviously this album's going to get a 10, because 18 out of 22 is obviously, outstanding. Just the fact that he did it, and he did it so well, is what's worthwhile greatly. So, yeah. Really, this is an Eminem album to check out. It's not old yet. It's not like a classic or old school quite yet, but it's also not just brand spanking new, but it's something I feel a lot of people probably overlook. If you're used to the Eminem that's with Rihanna and, these anthems that are just upbeat and empowering, well, Eminem wasn't always like that. So you get some new stuff, and this is a great album to check out. So I give this album a 10, and I'm going to give it an 8 social, just because even though there are some good songs on here, it's not necessarily it's hardcore rap. So, and the problems that are on the album you may not be wanting to jump into that world. So, you just need the songs that are kind of, just loose and ready. But Eminem doesn't necessarily always do party numbers. You just have to listen to what he says more than the actual topic of the song. So that's the reason why. But I give this album a 10, an 8 social. Subscribe for more fun.